It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome everyone present here to the book launch of Shomie R, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow by Mr. Naga Tumula. I, Babita Dev, am delighted to be your host for this special occasion. Your presence here today is greatly appreciated and adds to the excellent excitement that I am right now and significance of this event. It is indeed our privilege and honor to welcome the Honorable Governor of Mizoram, Dr. K. Haribabu, to Oak Ridge International School, Gachibowli, Hyderabad. We are equally delighted to welcome Mr. Shomie R, Mr. Naga Tumula, Mr. Raj Yaralagadda, Principal, Bombay International School, Mr. K.V. Arjun Rao, School Director, Pathways School, Captain Rohit Bajaj, Mr. Hari Kiran Vadlamani, and Mr. Prasanna Madhva, along with our school principal, Ms. Deepika Rao, the senior leadership team, and distinguished guests and teachers of Oak Ridge to this significant and beautiful event today evening. Books are a window to the world and also a deep dive into who we are. They stand for what we value, cherish, desire, and achieve, and influence in our lifetime. One such testament of a meaningful life is about to be unveiled today. Today's event is to celebrate the launch of Shomie R, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. This book is a beautiful expression of an intense yet fulfilling journey, challenging yet soulful companionships, and an ambitious yet immersive vision to transform the landscape of education in India. It represents a significant achievement for Mr. Naga Tumula and an exciting addition to the literary world, which in the author's own words, sir, I hope I'm not wrong, is not just another brick in the wall. That's chapter 2, by the way. Yes, I was going through your book, so it's very interesting. Today we come together to honor this accomplishment and to delve into the journey behind the creation and culmination of this book. We celebrate not only the launch of Shomie R, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, but also the hard work, dedication, and creativity of Mr. Naga Tumula. Writing a book, I'm sure you know, is a journey filled with challenges and triumphs, and it is an honor to recognize the significant achievement. Books have the power to inspire, educate, and transform, and we are excited to see how this book will resonate with its audience. So without further ado, I now invite the author of the book, our very own Mr. Naga Tumula sir, to join us on stage, along with the president of the function, Mr. Raj Yaralagadda, and the protagonist of the book himself, Shomie sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Please give a big round of applause. Isn't it amazing, or rather surreal, that the author and the protagonist of the book, they're together, sharing the same platform. And now, since we have the protagonist and the author here, it is my great privilege and honor to invite His Excellency, the Governor of Mizoram, Dr. K. Haribabu, on stage. Please give a big round of applause. Sir, it's a privilege to have you here. I request everyone to stand in attention for the national anthem. Thank you, students of Oak Ridge and the teacher in charge. I request everyone to settle down. I now invite the principal of Oak Ridge International School, Gachibowli, Hyderabad, Ms. Deepika Rao, to honor and welcome His Excellency Dr. K. Haribabu to the event and the school with a bouquet. We welcome the Governor of Mizoram to our school. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Thank you, ma'am. I request the head of MYP, Ms. Shweta Verma, to honor the author of the book, Mr. Nagatumula, with a bouquet. Shweta, ma'am. I also request the head of POIP, Ms. Ritu Agarwal, to honor Mr. Raj Yaralagadda with a bouquet. And I invite the Diploma Program Coordinator, Dr. Deepalata Subramanian, to honor Shomie Sir with a bouquet. Congratulations. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Thank you, Ritu ma'am. Thank you for being with us, Shomie sir. Thank you, Deepalata ma'am. The opening chapter of this event starts with Mr. Raj Yaralagada and Mr. Nagatumala, who have been friends, if you won't believe it, it's true still, for over 50 years. I don't know how you managed to do that, but it's fantastic, sir. And business partners for more than 30 years. That is even more incredible. They are the founders of the People Combined Group, which established numerous schools, including Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge was the first IB school in Hyderabad, and all the classrooms had internet connectivity as early as we can imagine 2001. They are also the founders of Core School, which utilizes cutting-edge generative AI tools to offer comprehensive learning solutions for all school students. They are also the founders of People Combined Foundation, which is involved in philanthropic activities. Please give a big round of applause as I invite the president of the function, Mr. Raj Yaralagadda, to deliver the opening remarks. Sir.
Good evening and welcome everyone to this beautiful school. Every time I pass on this road, I see this school, I wonder myself, how could we build this school in such a beautiful location, a beautiful school? Generally, people who see the school, they see the location, they see the magnanimous campus, air conditioning, the buses, and beautiful classrooms and all those things. But very few people who are deeply involved in the school knows what Oak Ridge means really. So I just want to share you, when we were discussing about this school, in very first chapter, as Babita said, that Babita, it's true, it's very difficult to manage 50 years of friendship and 30 years of business partnership. I will tell you nightmare stories later. So we actually supposed to start this school in Vizag. When we met Shomie, he was talking about a lot of new things. The meeting, we met him around evening 6 o'clock or 7 p.m. The meeting went up to 1 a.m. at his home. And we came to know a lot of things. One of the things is, it has to be real child-centric, not just on the website. How do you build a school which is really child-centric? So one of the example I see, the child-centric example, Shomie always tells this, which I feel that we need to build that confidence into the students. Every time Shomie in the teachers' meet says that even if a student is sleeping in the classroom, teacher should not disturb. He said this point multiple times. So he says that rather a teacher should inspire the student not to sleep and attend to the class. The moment you disturb his sleep, he never focuses on your teaching, rather he hates you. A student who can't love you can't learn anything from you. So multiple examples, very deep-rooted in this school. When I see the founding HM Adi ma'am, I was recollecting the memories. Once myself and Adi ma'am was there in the tennis courts. She was talking to a small second grade or third grade girl with her name, something Swapnika, hi Swapnika, how are you? She asked Adi ma'am, ma'am, how did you know my name? Ma'am said that, it's such a cute name, how can I forget? Could be a little bit diplomatic, but see how much that child loves this school and ma'am and the teachers and this kind of love and this thing. This is what actually really Shomie talks. And I see that a lot of people in the school today, could be Rohit, Arjun, and Janajit, a lot of people, everyone has these stories, what they build as principles of this school in the current principal, and all the things, and it's an amazing story. It is not, that's what I'm trying to tell you, it is not just what we see with eyes, it's what actually engraved inside the school. I encourage all of you to read this book for two reasons. If you're a teacher, it tells you how to inspire kids. If you are not a teacher, for me, for example, I learned over 25 years with the association of Shomie that how to handle my colleagues. A teacher is how do you build up greatness or inspire students. Same with others, how do we inspire people? How do you inspire your colleagues? And at the end of the day, there is no homework after reading the book, and also no exams. So you should read this book without fail. So lot of stories, couple of principals who worked here like Arjun, Rohit, and Janajit, the founder principal, they always used to tell a lot of stories about Shomie, which Naga narrated in the book, that his lectures in his school, all these people who worked closely with him, and Rohit also is a student to Shomie, and they are like a combination of TED Talks and stand-up comedy, his classrooms. And I'm sure if Shomie is teaching today, unfortunately he was teaching in the non-Instagram era, today he might be having more followers than all of us sitting here collectively, to his kind of vibe and energy he brings into the classroom. I want to, all the people, the Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Haribab Garu, Shomie and Naga, all the people I have close relation for last 25 to 50 years. I'm fortunate to have this thing. We are truly appreciate Haribab Garu for making it this thing. Haribab Garu is like family to us. I could tell this because it's in Hyderabad. I can't tell this in Vizag. In Vizag, people get offended. Why? Because in Vizag, everybody wants him. Everybody feels him, he's a family. They feel so much possessive. In 25 years of association, we learned a lot of things from him directly and indirectly. And with Shomie, similarly, in last 25 years of association, I would like to tell an incident. I shared this incident around 15 years back in one of the Founders Day in the same campus. The Oak Ridge Newton student, I think third grade student, a couple of teachers and SMD know this story, wrote a letter to Neil Armstrong saying that I want to become an astronaut. And I was thinking, Neil Armstrong, we all read in the books and this thing, he is still alive. And to our surprise, he got a reply from Neil Armstrong. And after a few years, he passed away. But this happened in 2008 or 9, I believe. I mean, it is fortunate to have such a living legends like Shomie to spend 25 years of time and the learnings what we had from Shomie is, it's actually, I don't know how Naga compiled in one book. It should be volumes of books. It must be very difficult, this thing. And writing a book is like giving a birth to a child. It's only 9 months process, but here it took for Naga 3 years, I believe, 2 to 3 years of process. Like the mother enjoys that process of 9 months, I could see Naga's excitement and enjoyment while writing this book over last 2-3 years, and every day he come up with a new story, new memory, what he recollected, and all those things putting into the book. And this thing, it's a great. I have seen his best and worst moments of life. I could see these 3 years, that amazing time he spent writing his book, and I wish he will come up with further more volumes of Shomie and also many more people. Wishing you all good luck, Naga and Shomie. Thank you so much, Haribab Garu. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is interesting. And yes, your invitation is open, and I will gladly accept to know the secret behind your 50 years of association. Moving ahead, I want to take a mood check. Shomie, sir, you're all happy having heard of all the glorious things. So it's very fascinating, because now I'm going to invite the protagonist himself. Shomie, sir, has studied at Cambridge University and comes from a family where 5 successive generations have attended Cambridge. Probably the only family in India with such a distinction, I'm sure. Shomie, sir, is the only person to have headed all 3 of India's top boarding schools: Mayo College in Ajmer, Lawrence School in Sanavar, and the Doon School in Dehradun. He's been instrumental in setting up over 75 schools designed for the 21st century, including Oak Ridge. It is my absolute privilege to invite the protagonist of the book in person and the shining and guiding light of Oak Ridge for such a long time, Mr. Shomie Das, to interact with us. This is the first time a character of the book is coming out of the book. So,
Your Excellency, Mr. Nagaprasad, Mr. Rajshekar, dignitaries, my friends who are all sitting here, and it's lovely to see you all, especially the ladies. It was a very unlikely time when I met Raj and Nagaprasad. And I was concerned that they wanted to build a school. And I said that these 2 men of about 30 years of age, they didn't look that they were very rich. How would they build a school? And here we are standing in one of those schools. And it happens because of the special character of these 2 men. They cling to an idea like leeches, and they don't let go until they have arrived at the solution. And the other important thing about them is that they take up educational ideas with very great enthusiasm. And that's not what many people do. Most people have ideas already in them, and when they hear about anyone else having an idea, they think theirs is better and doesn't need any consideration. So I was very impressed with the way that they went about the beginnings of the school. And I realized that we had an interesting couple who would do their best to make sure that my ideas were going to be implemented. No one else, of the 75 schools I had done before, no one had really cared for ideas in education. What they did care for was what the bottom line was, what profit they would get. So it used to be somewhat saddening for me, except there were about 3 or 4 schools which were concerned. So that's how we started, and that's how I got involved with both Naga Prasad and Rajshekhar. And we are totally different. I had a very sophisticated, anglicized background, having been educated in top schools and top universities, and met with big people. And here were 2 people who came from the hinterland of Andhra. And their background was that they were aspirational. They were aspirational, and they were the ones, and are the ones today, people like them, who are the makers of modern India. It is interesting that while I, kept thinking, how are they going to do this and how are they going to do that, I began in front of me seeing 2 people who are obsessed of an idea. And they are not unusual in India, in modern India. The reason why India has progressed in the way it has is because of the aspiration of its young people who have come along and taken ideas. And I'm very happy to be part of that idea, because I'm not aspirational. I have everything. I had the education, I had the job, I had everything. So I needed someone who was aspirational like them to put any idea that I had into practice. It wouldn't have happened otherwise. And that is one of the great learnings that I've had, and what I'm interested in telling people about is that modern India is made of people who have taken on from the past and taken on from the future and made themselves relevant and made their aspirations come to life. I've been always very interested in this process, that we were brought together. And had we not been brought together, they would have gone on with their things, they would have done good things, but they would not have put my ideas into operation. And that is the thing that has interested me. Now, what are those ideas that I had? My first job was in a very remote place in Scotland, which was started by a man called Kurt Hahn. Kurt Hahn was a German Jew who had to leave Germany because the Gestapo were after him, and he left Germany, where he had started a school, and escaped to Britain, where he started the school called Gordonston. And when I met him, it was because of him that I actually applied for the job there, and I was lucky to get it. He invited me for breakfast, as he did with a lot of his young staff. He would have them for breakfast, and he would talk to them and, in a sense, brainwash them. And he said to me, he said, you know, a ship is safe in a harbor. But that's not what it is built for. A child is safe at home. But that's not what we want from him. We want people like Naga and Raj to come out and step out and seek adventure. If that hadn't happened in the past, we would never be where we are today because of this curiosity, the nature of our human souls, that we are always wanting to find out and discover. And so, the job of our schools is to prepare them to set sail into the future. And I have to say that in that, my faith in Oak Ridge and the way they've educated children has been vindicated at all stages. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to have spoken to you all. I'm grateful to you, Your Excellency, for having come here to release the book. And I'm grateful to Naga most of all. Raj, of course, but Naga most of all, for writing a book. Who would have thought that this man who comes from this village in Newsweed would sit and write a book? I couldn't do it. And here I was, an educated person. So congratulations, Naga, for having written this lovely book, which I have enjoyed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shomie sir. And now we have arrived at the moment that we've been waiting for. I request the Honorable Governor of Mizoram, His Excellency, Dr. K. Haribabu, to release the book, Shomie Das, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, penned by Mr. Naga Tumala. I request our wonderful teacher from Oak Ridge, Bachupalli, Ms. Padmaja Apati, to bring the copies of the book. Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the book being released by His Excellency. A big round of applause. Thank you, Padmaja ma'am. So here we have Shomie Das, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. And the author himself now. Thank you very much. And this is a segue into another beautiful, very sweet moment that we have. Shomie sir turned 89th yesterday. Shomie sir, happy birthday. And now I request for the cake to be brought here so that His Excellency, Naga sir and Raj sir can start the celebration of Shomie sir's 89th birthday. Congratulations, sir. We wish you many, many more. Oh, while that is getting set up, do you know Shomie sir was a tutor to a very, very significant personality in the world? Any guesses? He tutored. Sorry? Who? Where is the first answer coming from? Okay, there, far end. Yes, sir. Somebody is raised. Sorry? Arjun sir, no prodding allowed. I mean, just because you had close association, yes. Yes, King Charles himself. Sir, how was that? Shomie sir, how was that experience? Happy birthday, Shomie sir.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
It's my honor now to invite His Excellency, Honorable Governor of Mizoram, to address the gathering. Sir.
Mr. Shomie Das, the man who saw tomorrow, my good friends, Mr. Rajasekhar Yarlagadda, and also Mr. Naga Prasad Tummala, and dear friends. I feel extremely privileged to be the chief guest at this book launch event dedicated to renowned Indian educationist Mr. Shomie Das. As we all know, Mr. Shomie Das is one of the most prominent figures in the education sector in our country. I am truly happy that we are celebrating his accomplished life this evening, which is thoroughly deserved. At the outset, I also express my deep appreciation to Mr. Naga Prasad, co-founder and chairman of People Combine, and Mr. Rajasekhar for inviting me to this prestigious event. Mr. Naga Prasad and Rajasekhar, they were successful and hardworking entrepreneurs. I think they are the edupreneurs. They started a lot of ventures in educational sector. Therefore, instead of calling them as entrepreneurs, I call them as edupreneurs. With decades of experience in the field of quality education. His accomplishments include the founding of the Oak Ridge International Schools, which are now part of the world's leading premium schools. First, I met Mr. Naga Prasad and Mr. Rajasekhar in Visakhapatnam. When they came to Vizag as young people to start an educational institution by name Vikas Junior College. They started in Visakhapatnam. With that venture, their journey started in education sector. And I will admit that our two daughters, they were educated in Vikas Junior College. And I think that because of their association, our two daughters have become entrepreneurs. My elder daughter is here, sitting in the front row. She worked for some time in Wipro. Later, he started one IT company. Then she shifted to the activity of manufacturing electric two-wheelers by name Quantum Technologies Limited. Now she is settled in Hyderabad, manufacturing the electrical two-wheelers. My younger daughter is also in business. She is in food business. She has interest in Shoyu restaurant, Shoyu cloud kitchen. Therefore, she is also now being settled in the city of Hyderabad. Therefore, the guidance and the spirit of entrepreneurship, I think my feeling is that they have imparted to their students also. Mr. Naga Prasad has been honored and recognized by the leading publications in the country, and he is known for his philanthropic activities as well. I congratulate him for his noble works and achievements, and I especially commend him for organizing this event in honor of esteemed Mr. Shomie Das. The life and career of Mr. Shomie Das is indeed exemplary and worthy of recognition and celebration. His grandfather, the nationalist, Mr. Satish Ranjan Das, was the visionary for the establishment of the Doon School. Mr. Das graduated from St. Xavier's College, University of Calcutta, with further education at the University of Cambridge. Famously, we are proud to know that Mr. Das had the privileged opportunity to teach King Charles III, the current King of the United Kingdom, while he was a student at Godstown School in Scotland. Mr. Das is fondly remembered by his British colleagues as a much loved member of the staff. His lasting impact is evident from the fact that he remained in contact with the royal family long after he left Godstown and returned to India. Importantly, Mr. Das holds the distinguished distinction of serving as the headmaster of 3 top schools in India: the Doon School, Mayo College, and Lawrence School at Sanavar. These elite institutes have produced numerous Indian leaders across various fields. As the leader of India's top schools, he has left a progressive impact by promoting holistic education and encouraging critical thinking and character development. He has continued with his passion for education, and his inputs as an education consultant remain cherished and valued. As we celebrate the impactful career of Mr. Shomie Das, I take this opportunity to talk about the salient features of the National Education Policy 2020, launched under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, replacing the decades-old education policy. I think all of you are aware of the new education policy and its main features. This new policy, announced by the Union government, actively seeks to make India a global knowledge superpower. The NEP 2020 emphasizes the need for skill development while pursuing education. This is one of the important features of the NEP 2020. Beginning with vocational exposure at early ages in middle and secondary school, quality vocational education will be integrated smoothly into higher education. The policy seeks to prepare students for entrepreneurship. This is where Mr. Nagaprasad and Rajsekhar took this interest in entrepreneurship while they started all their ventures, and aims to make them job creators instead of becoming job seekers. It provides for rigorous research-based specialization within a multidisciplinary and holistic education. Closer collaboration between industry and institutions is actively encouraged to drive innovation and research. Honorable Prime Minister stated that the new education policy will play an important role in the making of Atmanirbhar, modern, new, and prosperous India. He said that the NEP will connect the students with the roots of our country and at the same time give opportunities to develop them as global citizens. It is proposed that the curricula for school education will aim for holistic development of learners, equipping them with the key 21st century skills, reduction in curricular content to enhance essential learning and critical thinking, and greater focus on experiential learning. Students will have increased flexibility and choice of subjects so that they choose their own paths according to their talents and interests. NEP 2020 lays great emphasis on promoting multilingualism so that children know and learn about the rich and vast array of languages of our country. I think the Oak Ridge School, the name which was given by Mr. Shomie Das, I have just scanned some of the pages in the book. I could understand the pain taken by both Rajasekhar and Nagaprasad before starting the school, going all the way to Dehradun and seeing all famous schools. And also they made it a point to meet Mr. Shomie Das, spent a lot of time discussing with how they can start a very good school in Andhra Pradesh. I think as Mr. Shomie Das put, he might have given ideas to hundreds of people, but he could find Mr. Rajasekhar and Nagaprasad who implemented his ideas in practice in Oak Ridge School in Hyderabad. And I also saw when they wanted to start this school, what name they can give to the school. I think Mr. Shomie Das suggested you can name it as Oak Ridge. And they have taken that advice and they have named the school as Oak Ridge International School. And I came to know that this is the first school in Hyderabad which implemented IB curriculum. Nowadays, many international schools which gave the name as international school in Tier 2, Tier 3 towns, they are also implementing IB curriculum. But I am afraid whether we are prepared to implement IB curriculum in so many schools, whether we have the trained teachers to teach IB curriculum to the students effectively. I think we have to give some attention to the availability of talented teachers to teach in IB curriculum. And in the new education policy, it is suggested that the medium of instruction until at least grade 5 may be the mother tongue or local language. I don't know how this suggestion can be implemented in these international schools where they are implementing this IB curriculum. They may differ with this suggestion, but this suggestion was also given in the education policy. Simple, in mother tongue, the understanding will be more easier and clear. That is why in the childhood, it is suggested that the medium of instruction can be in mother tongue at least until grade 5. I don't want to go into the details of the other aspects of new education policy. It talks about accreditation of education institutions and also academic bank of credit, exit and enter policy into any course, depending on the credits they attain. And all of you know about those things. Interestingly, NEP 2020 proposes to internationalize education in India, allowing foreign universities to set up campuses in the country. This is another important feature of the policy. The policy seeks to utilize international education to re-establish India as Vishwaguru. The focus is now largely on research and innovation. I am optimistic that if we vigorously pursue these and other salient features of NEP 2020, we can bring about positive transformation, ultimately leading to Vikasit Bharat. I once again thank Mr. Nagaprasad, Mr. Rajasekhar, and the other organizers for inviting me to this event. I place on record my deep admiration and appreciation to Mr. Shomie Das. And I really appreciate Nagaprasad and Rajasekhar, an entrepreneur or a businessman need not establish an industry, manufacturing unit, having machinery, having labor force to become an entrepreneur, but they have chosen the path of education sector, starting a school, adding value to it. We can also become entrepreneurs, edupreneurs, by adding the value to an educational institution. I think I really appreciate their effort, what they have put into establishing this Oak Ridge School. I think when the school was established, I think in the year 2000, 2001, I was a member of Legislative Assembly in Andhra Pradesh during 1999 and 2004, during which time I used to see the Oak Ridge buses on the roads of Hyderabad city. At the time, people used to tell me that all the buses are air conditioned, all the classrooms are air conditioned. And just now, as it was told that all classrooms are connected with internet, I think to listen to those facts, it is really fascinating. And they could make a very good international school in Hyderabad. And also they established the same Oak Ridge School in Visakhapatnam. They also ventured into some of the real estate activities. I think now, after making money, being entrepreneurs, now they are into other businesses. I think Nagaprasad into co-school, Mr. Rajasekhar is into another business, and another business of theirs, everybody knows, is about 7 on the highway of Vijayawada, Hyderabad. I think nobody can afford not to stop at 7 to have a cup of tea or refreshments while they travel between Hyderabad and Vijayawada. It is such a nice name they bring to whatever institution they start. That shows their interest in keeping every institution in excellence. It is my sincere desire that they will be blessed with good health as they continue to be shining beacon in education sector and in other fields. I thank for inviting me to be the chief guest for this function, and I am very happy to participate in this function. And I pay my respects to Mr. Shomie Das. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. And now the moment, the man behind the magic. I invite our very own and cherished, impressive and impactful author of the book, Mr. Nagatumula, to share the stage with us and share his thoughts and the journey behind his creativity. Sir.
It's indeed a great privilege to be on this dais, sharing with His Excellency, Dr. K. Haribabu Garu, my mentor, Mr. Shomie Das, and my friend and partner in everything that I do, Rajshekar. it is such a different feeling, though sharing dais with Shomie and Raz was so routine over decades. But this is a very different feeling. I also thank Oak Ridge, Deepika, the SLT, for hosting this event here at Oak Ridge to make this event so special. And it is making a reunion for most of the Oak Ridgers, the fans of Oak Ridge. It is so delighted feeling. And also, there are luminaries sitting here. Lalita, my friend, who actually gave confidence that I can take up this project. Harikiran, who is my guru for everything that I do, including writing this book. And friends, on a working day, coming to join this, be part of this occasion, is a not easy expectation I could have on, but so many of you have come. It shows your love for me and respect to Shomie. I'm so thankful. The journey with Shomie is in fact almost 25 years of journey. Probably the amount of conversations that I have had with him and so many debates, discussions, disagreements, he might not even have had with his own children. So in the process, he played such an important role in my life, including be the local guardian for my son at Doon. And he trusting us to relocate to Hyderabad at the age of 82, about 7 years ago. It was not an easy thing for an 82-year-old to relocate from his place to a new place altogether. That is the kind of relation that we have with Shomie, and the experiences are so many. I don't put all of them now in this. Already some of them are covered in the book. I leave it for you to read them as part of the book. I never thought that I would write a book. I never felt I was material for authoring something. I am only there to do things. But I was asking Shomie to write a book for more than a decade. And you all know, those who know Shomie, the way he just laughs away, and simply he was not ready to do that. I was getting restless because the ideas and the ideals, the vision that he has for India and education in India and for children should not vanish with him. So is there a way to immortalize all those ideas? Was the only driving force for me to push Shomie to do that. But I was not so successful. Then after exiting from Oak Ridge, I thought I would have a lot of free time. Then I told him that I will do it together with you. So, but it's finally happening when I am most busy of all the times. So, but I'm so glad that the book has come out finally. After a point, it was not immortalizing Shomie's ideas, rather it was to give shape to this book when he is still around on the stage, the protagonist and the author being on the stage, and we all celebrating it together was the primary motto after a point of time. So I'm so happy for making this happen. Then the journey behind the book, journey behind Oak Ridge, journey with Shomie, most of it is known to the world. But journey behind the book is the most difficult one, probably more difficult than the journey itself. So it was Lalita Iyer who gave me confidence that yes, you can do this project. I will help you in doing this. And how to do it. So she used to sit with me and show me separately for hours together, days together, have conversations, record all that, and it was such an ardent effort, and transcribe everything into something, a draft. Even during COVID, she used to come and sit with us and have those conversations. And while coming, she used to bring the macarons for Shomie. So, because she knew how to extract content out of Shomie, otherwise he used to just laugh away. Then came Sumit, Sukanya, and Ramona, team of All Cap, Kolkata-based. They actually took this entire manuscript to give it a shape that is publication worthy. It was so hard effort. Then came the critic, the Andrew Otis that Kiran referred from US. He looked at the draft and he said, scrap it. So you can imagine of all the effort and someone saying scrap it. Then the team went back and again took the challenge to give the present shape. And Shantanu, today he was supposed to be here, he is unwell, hospitalized, so he couldn't come, the Home Publications chief editor. He immediately had fallen in love with the draft. So the change that was brought in, what was advised to scrap, to the publisher, seasoned publisher, falling in love with the book and came forward to publish it, is such a transformative experience. And then Kiran suggested, are you giving a book? Is it a book launch? So just don't do it that way. It is you expressing your gratitude to your mentor. So do it in your own style. Then came the effort to make the book into a gift. And that gift, you all know Narendra Garu, how he has given shape to it. And once it is taken to him, the team at Pragati made the book into a gift. Thank you, everyone, in this journey. While people see me as the creator, but I'm so fortunate to be supported by so many people, so many friends, so many agencies in bringing life to everything that I do. As a result, I enjoy this respect and credit, but so many people behind. Then the book is here. How do you do it? Came up with this idea that we shall do it at Oak Ridge. That's what makes the story complete. Because this entire journey is because of Oak Ridge. And this is the place where all that story has happened. So hence, we approached Chris and Deepika, and they graciously accepted to make this event to happen here, and they came forward to host the event. And that is how we are celebrating this evening here at Oak Ridge. Thank you very much. While there are a few things written in the book, because there are quite a few, as Haribabu Garu mentioned, edupreneurs are here. would like to give a couple of 2 cents of mine to everyone that education institution is all about having a vision and articulating that vision, living that vision, no matter what it takes the effort. We were fortunate to have Shomie to bring that vision, and using me and Raz as the playground to fulfill all his dreams. That's how this dream had taken shape. Otherwise, it would not have been a possibility. So it is such a wonderful combination, but everyone should come up with their own vision and able to articulate no matter how hard and difficult the journey would be. The second thing is, it is all about people. Great institutions are built by having right people, nurturing them well, caring for them, loving them truly. That's what is the process of making great institutions. That is what we have believed, and we always ensured that that love and care is always was there. That's how today, after many years, when we come back to Oak Ridge, we still get the same love and care because of that connect. So even Nada Anglia CEO, Andrew, when he visited Oak Ridge, he said we have about 60-odd schools by then. Now it is almost close to 100. We visit so many schools in the process, but we never have seen so happy faces anywhere in the world. That's, what do you do? So we never did anything so we wanted to do it in any which way, tactful way. It was our natural way of doing it, and that's what is the result of Oak Ridge. Then the mentor-mentee. Even I have mentioned in the book, having right mentor at right time is so important, without which no journey would be ever reaches its complete height. This relationship is two-way relation. The mentee should always be ready to get to receive open feedback that could be very ruthless. No matter what it is, only when one is prepared to be a mentee, there exists a mentor. Otherwise, it is just an advisor. The moment when you are a mentee, there comes a mentor, and our journey is always full of such mentors, though the longest being Shomie. It is both Raz and I always feel, and those relationships are so precious for us. Anyone who is a success seeker, that's very, very important is what I feel. And in the process, mentor also learns quite a bit, and they align themselves, and they have true care and concern for us, the mentees. Then only a journey could be so wonderful and so meaningful, and it can culminate something like this. Celebrating that relation that we started 25 years ago. And our relationship with Haribabu Garu is, as Raz said, is like a family. It is almost as old as our entrepreneurial journey, more than 30 years. Chetana is sitting here, studied with us, journeyed with us, so much of emotional connect that we enjoy with Haribabu Garu. We have seen him. We grow up seeing him being a university professor, entrepreneur to MLA, MP, intellectual member in many committees in Government of India, and today the Governor of Mizoram. Such a glorious journey to, for most people, it is something like, it is a perfect journey. But it's such a commendable journey that we have seen, and these are all inspirations that we take looking at those well-wishers and mentors in building our careers and life. Thank you very much, Harbab Garu, for gracing this occasion. And all our lovely Oak Ridge family. So wherever you are there for us, always in our hearts. All of you, Hema, Arjun, Rohit, everyone came from different places. Boni came from Vijayawada. So it is just such a wonderful feeling. I was very particular not to bother everyone to travel from outside. I didn't even knew that you were making effort to come all the way, but I'm so happy to see you all. So it is such a nostalgic feeling to come back to Oak Ridge at any point of time. Thank you very much. And it is all possible only with the support of family. My dad is here, and in all the things that we were doing, there is so much of support, my brother, sister, everyone. It's such a great feeling to be from that family. And all the members present here. So someone was asking, what do you do? I said, I don't keep myself free, and at the same time, I don't let others be remaining free. So I wrote a book, and I'm expecting you all to read. So that's what I am into it, and your gift is waiting for you outside. So please enjoy reading. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So that was the man himself, and congratulations on this wonderful book, sir. And I'm sure each one of us here would love to read it and then learn from it. I now request Naga sir and Raj sir to honor His Excellency, Dr. K. Haribabu, with a memento for gracing the occasion with his presence. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. His Excellency, Honorable Governor of Mizoram, Dr. K. Haribabu. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the conclusion of the part 1 of the event. Yes. And we profoundly thank our chief guest of the event, His Excellency, for gracing the occasion and inspiring us through his interaction with us. Before we proceed to the next stage of the event now, I request everyone to stand in attention for the national anthem. Thank you. I request everyone to rise in their places to honor His Excellency, Governor of Mizoram, as he proceeds. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. May I request all the guests here to take their seats as we begin the part 2 of the event. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. May I request all the guests here to take their seats as we begin. We resume the event with the part 2 of the book launch, which is even more interesting. All right, if nobody is listening, I think if you are listening to, if you can hear me, my hand is raised and Hema ma'am has immediately occupied her seat and I'm so happy. So this is, if you can hear me and you can see my hand, I request you to take your seat. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate and respect this audience. They are obliging my request. Shomie sir is back. And here I am. We segue into the part 2 of the event. And who else would I invite to unveil the part 2 than one of the most loved and popular principals, and I can see that, yes, he knows whom I'm talking about, of Oak Ridge Gachibowli, Captain Rohit Bajaj, who is now heading Pathway School as a school director, one of the leading IB leaders there in the circuit. I'm sure he needs no introduction among us, and hence I invite him to join us on stage to raise the curtain on what's up next for all of us. Rohit sir, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm just totally blessed to be here today. And I'm so happy that Chairman Sir, he'll always remain the Chairman Sir for me, NP Sir, and Raj Sir will always remain MD Sir for me. So I'm really happy, Sir, that you thought of inviting me, and you've given me this few minutes to speak here at this moment. And by the grace of God, I'm here in spite of all the rains and Delhi traffic, and I was destined to be here. So on the onset, I just want to say that it just feels lovely being on the Oak Ridge grounds, a very fertile ground to be on, where all of us have been nourished, nurtured, and we've grown to add value to so many more people. But having said that, I just want to say that when I think of Shomie Das, to me, he is heady. 8 years to 54 years, that's my association with him. It goes back a little longer to 74 with my family. My journey of education started with inspiration of Feroza Das, his wife. And of course, it continues. If I speak about a vision, an individual vision of MD Sir, of Chairman Sir, different visions, but coming together to a collective vision with Hedy together, and that collective vision which has created a huge impact to a worldwide community of educators who are parents, who are students, who are alumni, and most importantly, a thriving faculty, and for which we will always be very, very grateful. Hedy is inspirational. He's charismatic. He's got the magnetic aura which just draws everyone to him. He's a thinker, and he's got an instinctive leadership. He just knows it. He just knows it. He just knows what it is. He's an inquirer and he's a thinker, and he ensures that he provokes you into thinking. If I speak about NP Sir, our Chairman Sir is a dynamic guy. He's dynamic and he's a strategist guy who plans, who prepares, and who makes sure that he does things. I still remember having those conversations in his office, daily conversations, where he would say that, okay, how do you get a 45? And we made sure we got a 45. And his heart, he's a very emotional guy in his heart, but he doesn't show it. But that's what his charisma is all about. And MD Sir,
Sir, you'll always be the MD, sir, for us. Raj, sir. He's a flamboyant MD. He's full of life. And he's that problem solver who thinks out of the box. He's taught us all how to think differently. And he's got a heart of love and compassion who we truly value. So with this collective leadership of the heart and mind, created together a fabulous community of learners. The brand people combine, the schools, Oak Ridge International Schools, the Newton campus, Oak Ridge International School, Gachibowli, and for that, we are indebted to each and every one of you here. Thank you so much, sir. And if I just speak about the personal and the professional impact that's personally had on me today, and while I stand here, I have to say that Hedy was my teacher of physics when I was in grade 11, lower 6, back in Sanaa. And he taught me how to gaze at the stars. I still gaze at the stars. My first navigation lesson started from him. We were always invited to his home, and he had a great telescope. I still remember seeing the Halley's Comet at 2 a.m. in the morning over coffee, sitting down together and asking us, telling us, and involving the scientific temper of being an inquirer when even the IB wasn't really there, founded. So that was him. He took us out for camps, and he made sure those learning experiences we would learn together. He taught us the difference between a sheep and a goat, which I still don't understand whether I'm supposed to be a sheep or am I a goat. I still don't know that. His interesting way, Hedy, of your marking of alpha, beta, gamma, I always got a Charlie with him. So he always figured out that I really didn't know too much of physics, but I gave him a surprise with a 98 in physics. I think perhaps he had a little more thought on that for me. But there was Hedy, and he was the one when I graduated from Stephens, and he said, look, I have a chemistry vacancy in the Doon School. Rohit, would you like to come? So I told him, Hedy, I failed in maths, but I've cleared my chemistry. So he says, as far as you've done your chemistry, you can clear your subsidiary maths later. You should come and teach. So there I was. Those 3 months became close to 3 years in the Doon School with Hedy, and he taught me many different things, and I can carry on, but I do know that we want to hear his story with Arjun and with Chairman Sir here. So, and on the 4th of October, 2007, I was doing my founders, and I was getting ready for the school NCC to receive the chief guest and to show the colors there. He gave me a call. He said, look, Rohit, it's time for you to move out of Sanaa, and you need to come and meet Naga Prasad and Rajshekhar Babu. They are back in Hyderabad, and they're two young friends. Nihara's coming. They're two young people. You just need to have an interaction with them and see how you feel. And I'm sure you'll fall in love with the school, with their vision. And I want you to join Oak Ridge International School as a school principal. So 2007, 10th of October, right here in the boardroom, at 11:30 a.m., I had a delightful meeting with Chairman Sir and with MD Sir. MD, I'm not sure whether was very convinced about having a young 37-year-old man, a non-Telugu guy coming here. But NP Sir was pretty convinced about it because I think Hedy had done the background check for me here. So here I was as a school principal, and my best time has been here. And I'm going to share how the best time really flourished in my life because, again, Hedy had a great role for me here because he helped my father-in-law to make sure that I become his son-in-law here. So he helped me get married here, and I got married at Oak Ridge International School here. The love blossomed here, and Chairman Sir and MD Sir with Prasanna Sir got me married here, and we had a delightful party with the entire Oak Ridge family, with staff and families all together, and the next day was a party with the support staff as well. That's the kind of personal impact that they've had on my life here. And as far as the professional impact goes, NP sir, Harry, and JMD sir, and Raj sir never, ever let any opportunity go by me. They gave me an opportunity to learn and thrive and to know the IB, the Cambridge, the CBSE, and there was just never going back. So I'm very grateful to you that, sir, you gave me this opportunity of letting me be where I am today. I have learned so much from you, and it's a time to just say a big thank you to you for that. Thank you very much for those learning opportunities. 3 life lessons that I have learned that I can think of. Number 1 is this humility. I've learned to be humble, and I see them in their humility, and that thrives and helps me to flourish with everybody. Number 2 is lifelong learning, lifelong relationships. Today when I walked into Oak Ridge, it was just so lovely meeting everyone here. Arjun, Hema, Adi ma'am, Baljit, Jyoti ma'am, Asya, Bonnie ma'am, everybody here. It was just such a delight. And we flourish in those relationships. To invest in a relationship is what I learned because, sir, you taught us to celebrate and recognize everyone. And that was a really, really a big learning for me, and I hope that we can continue learning from there. And the last thing is to invest in people, and is to really have that spirit of compassion. 2 examples I would like to give. When you're prompt, it helps you to understand that you respect and you are thoughtful. About a month back, I'd given a call to Chairman Sir. Immediately he took my call. I had to speak on holistic education. And I said, sir, I remember that you had spoken to us and you'd given us a definition on holistic education in 2013. Promptly, within 5 minutes, I got that email on holistic education, which I could use it. So that thoughtfulness and respect is something I've learned from you, sir. Thank you so much. Another example that I can give, I had a colleague of mine, Rajeshwari Shetty, who hurt herself during camps. Every day, MD sir was with me in Apollo Hospital, checking on the family, checking on her, checking on how she was doing. The 1 month, 2 months, 3 months that she took time to heal, the Oak Ridge family made sure that she got well. These are my learnings, and of course, the lifelong learning which I've got, which will always remain with me, is what Harry's taught me to keep my wife happy. So I'm really, truly blessed being here. Thank you so much, sir, once again, for giving me this opportunity, and I'm deeply blessed by everything that you've done for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. And now the conversation that we've been waiting for. I request the man behind the curtain to come forward, join us on stage. And that's here we have Arjun sir with us, who needs no introduction. Arjun sir, good evening, and thank you very much for being with us. He's going to moderate the conversation between the author and the protagonist. Over to you, Arjun sir.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I must say, I guess I've learned something from Mr. Das, because whenever you meet him, you have to part, crowd of ladies around him always. And I heard 2, 3 ladies cheering for me, so I think things are looking up as the years go by. Good evening, sir. And welcome to this amazing celebration. Congratulations to you, Mr. Tumala, for this. I know everyone's going to spend the evening sharing memories of what brought them into this wonderful organization. And there's so many of us here who are bound inextricably forever by the amazing learning that we've had here. We've learned so much coming together as a family. And I remember, the first time I was offered a job to start a school in Bangalore. And Mr. Das called me. And I remember like Rohit, he was busy with his boarding school. I was busy at far less ambitious things. I was organizing dinner duty at the Doon School. And Mr. Das on the call says, what is bothering you about taking this on? So I said, I'm very young. So he said, just grow a beard, no one will be able to tell. And he later told me that's what he did when he took on the job at Mayo. But I think that, is the first thing that I do want to ask you is what gave you the courage to take risks on people, to convince young people to do bizarre things, to take those decisions, to hire the first lady teacher at the Doon School. What gave you that courage?
No, I'm not sure that I even knew I had courage. I had to do these things, so I did them. I wasn't really very bothered about reactions, and that was my problem. I was not sensitive enough to know so-and-so will react and so-and-so will not react. But unless you take a few risks in this job, you will never get on top of education. Education is a business where you need to constantly innovate, constantly look at what you could do better. And that was the reason why I took risks, so that I could ensure that we were doing better than before.
In John Ray's biography, Delusions of Grandeur, of course, legendary headmaster of the Westminster School, he talks about how easy it is for leaders, and especially school leaders, to get carried away by the work that they do. They get carried away by the mission, they believe too much in the vision. And then, of course, the students you meet, their parents. Rohit mentioned one of the things that he's learned from you, and clearly by the previous response, humility is something really big on that list. What are some of the things that you think school leaders really need?
One of my thoughts has always been, I have lots and lots of dreams. And those dreams can only be dreams if you do it yourself, because you can't achieve them all. And so my life has been living dreams through my students. And what students have achieved, I have achieved. That's the way I look at it. And therefore, when I'm actually on the job, I'm living those dreams and then ensuring that my students live those dreams later and make me successful rather than themselves. That's the way I should look at it.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, that's amazing. NP, to you, you've titled the book, of course, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. But why didn't you tell us when you started thinking that Mr. Das is the man who saw tomorrow? What was that moment that made you think that this is really looking into the future?
It could be two ways. One is me and Raz at that time, where we were, compared to that where Shomie was. So for us, that is what looking into the future and seeing that future. That was the starting of feeling of the man who saw tomorrow. But Shomie was someone, it is not that he was living on his past glory. He was so much advanced in everything that he was doing. Last 2-3 years until, he knew more technology than we people who are day in and day out into it. The kind of gadgets he used to take out from his bag and the kind of things and what all could be done and what kind of things he was doing at school when there was no technology as such. in 1950s using a computer, what does it mean and how it could put to use. All those things, actually, even today, he discusses with me on how generative AI can play a role in education, what are the challenges, and he is the most significant conversational buddy even today on these things at that core deep education level. That's what makes Shomie so special and truly the man who saw tomorrow.
Wow, thank you. NP, staying with you, you talked about living so many of, and bringing to life so many of Mr. Das's ideas. Which do you think was the greatest challenge among those ideas? And how were you able to build that resolve to be able to make that come to life?
Of all the child-centered education, it took really long time for me to understand and try to operationalize. Always, Oak Ridge was a kind of lab. Truly, how do you achieve a child-centered education, which otherwise teacher-centric education? So that teacher-centeredness to child-centeredness was a process. I don't think we have achieved completely, but we were continuously working to make it happen. That's what even when I talked to my co-school team, that was mission incomplete that actually I'm trying to do now, that true child-centeredness is what we are trying to achieve through co-school. That's what the most difficult part of education.
Okay, great. Mr. Das, I think just building on what NP said, in our bid to be able to, and our Honorable Chief Guest talked about the NEP, and it opens with the line to make, India this glorious place for education. But do you think that in our effort to excel, we have inculcated in our school systems, in our children, in ourselves, this excessive sense of competitiveness? We've become too critical of what they do. Has that taken away from the joy of learning, the lifelong learning that we've talked about? And what do you think schools can do to, recover that spirit?
I think that the problem really is that we are dictated to by universities. And our entire objective at the end is that our kids get into good universities. We splash it all over the place. We've got 2 kids here and 3 kids there and so on. But actually, that's not what education is about, getting kids into universities. So I always feel that you should try and dilute this constant pressure on kids for universities. They'll get in. If they're going to really want to get into a university, they will get in. You don't have to make it that serious. Take life more in your stride. I remember taking a physics class where what we did was I had made a little car, toy thing. And I made it follow a white line automatically. I went round and round. And then some boy said, that was what I wanted. Some boy said, but the battery will run out. Then what? It'll stop running. I said, well, before that, it should go and charge itself. And he said, but how? And that is what I wanted him to ask. but how. So you take away this constant thing of passing examinations. On the other hand, you make them ask questions which are relevant to their lives, which are relevant in themselves, and which inculcate curiosity. So that was the way I made children enjoy and love learning rather than passing exams and getting into universities.
Thank you. Thank you. NP, you talked about the right mentor at the right time. But I also think on some level, the openness to hearing new ideas, and of course the world has changed in the last 30 years since those first conversations. So where do some of us who are, playing the roles that, or will eventually play the roles that Shomie did, where do we find our Raj and NP who will, write books about us? How do we stay open to new ideas?
It happens. You don't need to look for it.
Hopefully somebody will come knocking at Rohit's and my door sometime. Yeah. But I think, crucially, going back to those initial days, I mean, we've heard the stories. It's now in the book. And there are going to be so many stories that will follow. But what do you think from those initial days? We've talked about child-centered education. We've talked about curriculums, the IB, and so on. What do you think are significant changes that you have seen in the way education is perceived and understood in India from when those initial days of Oak Ridge were starting and today?
When we were designing Oak Ridge, we were only considering students will continue to study in Oak Ridge only up till 8th grade. After that, they move away to Chaitanyas and Narayanas of the country, because end of the day, everybody's goal is to get marks and ranks. And as a holistic school, it is very difficult to satisfy their need. But no matter, we will not change our course. We will continue to make it a holistic education only. We will never get to that path. I felt so happy when principals successfully came and told me that there is so much of demand for 11th grade and we are not able to admit, what do we do? That's what, when that situation came, I felt we arrived, because we never thought that could happen. So that itself is a big change. Parents have actually recognized what their children require. Yes, there is a world that looks for so many marks and ranks, and they make children only commit to that kind of education since childhood. But there is also a segment of parents who are appreciating a true holistic education. That is one big change. Second thing is the adoption of technology. While we aspire that schools should adopt so much of technology, but in last 20 plus years, the amount of technology adoption in schools is phenomenal. So without which this all what children today are able to learn could not have possible. And at this scale, see how many teachers are like Shomie. So that kind of experiential learning today students are able to have because adoption of technology. So like that, there are so many changes are happening, but what it is going to be is so transformative in next 5 years.
Our chief guest said that, both you and Raj have played the roles of nation builders. What do you think that we in India are creators and, blazing down pathways of education? Or do you think we're mostly on the receiving end of innovation that's happening in our field?
See, India with 140 crore population is a world by itself. What all happens in India If it is to imitate what happens outside, it will not work for India. So much of the ground up innovation that is happening, that is so cost effective and relevant, it is just happening in India. So last April, I was in a conference in San Diego, addressing a gathering like this. All of them, the curiosity, the topic itself was like how to enter Indian market. So they came, they're not interested to listen to us if we give few tidbits how you can enter India. So India is such a unique country, the outsiders don't find it so easy to enter. So it's a world by itself.
I'll just add to that. We are a very innovative country. You know, Chandrayaan 3 went up and what we did there. But that's not the thing I want to highlight. What I want to highlight is that it was the cheapest shot to the moon ever made by any space agency in the world. And why was that? Why was it cheaper? Because we used a simple concept of gravitation, which is known as slingshot. So while the Americans sent a person to the moon in 3 days or 4 days, we took 40 days. And that was the payoff that we paid in order to make it as cheap as possible, by using this idea of slingshot. No one else had thought of it, but we did it. And we are, in many other ways, also as innovative. If you just look around, the way that our people improvise is just unbelievable. This is part of South Asia. I don't think it's only here, but all over South Asia. And I think that we lead the world in this. Where we don't succeed very well is that we then don't follow up with more of this stuff, and we don't praise you didn't know that this was the cheapest shot to the moon. And the technology that it's not being broadcast. It should be. People should understand this is what's happening.
So what do you think is next in education? What do you think is going to be the next big thing? If 30 years ago, holistic education, Oak Ridge was the next big thing, what's the next big thing?
I think that the next big thing is that we should do away with schools.
I'm sure all the builders here will be very excited with this idea.
You know, this business of keeping kids locked up in a classroom, 4 walls, 5 hours a day, continuously, day after day. I mean, in this day and age, you don't need to do that. You've got so much resource at your disposal. You don't need to do that. Also, children know a lot more than you think. And when they're in class 8, they're already thinking of the ways they're going to do things. And you should take them on and give them the opportunity. So I do believe that another 40, 50 years, we will be having a much more flexible school system.
So if anyone's looking to put money into schools without walls, you heard it here first. NP, what do you think Shomie's greatest legacy will be? How does that live on in your work?
The way he gambles with people. So you said the courage. It is much more than that. At least I know the journey, how it started with me and Raz. That itself was a gamble. And together we were gambling with you, Rohit, and many of. So, but the important thing is believing in people's ability. Even much before they themselves see in themselves. That is something, it is not easy. Institution building is all about nurturing people. And how do you do that? Only when you see potential in them. And when do you see? Not when they are too old, when they are very young. That's what we all need to be. If I learned something from Shomie, this is, I think, as an institution builder, this stands on top.
Thank you. Mr. Das, final question. Imagine a young physics teacher just out of university writes to you on advice on when he's thinking about, or she's thinking about becoming a teacher. What advice would you give him or her starting out now?
I don't know. These things happen inside you, you know. You don't learn from other people as much as you learn from what you believe in. I think that a young physics teacher, if he is really taking on the job of teaching physics, must understand that physics is no longer just a subject in that sense. It transcends many other subjects. If you look at gene technology, it's based on physics. Or any other technology today, it's all based on physics. So teaching of physics has got to change a little bit from what it is today. And I think that we continue to teach 19th century, 20th century physics when we should be teaching a different form of physics, not necessarily what we were teaching in the 20th century. And I think maybe it's very difficult for you to understand what that means. Very difficult for me to understand what that means. But unless you begin to adapt to what's happening in the world, you're not going to give the children the input they require.
Thank you. And finally, I think, NP, I think we need that second and third and fourth volume because I don't know about anybody else, but I have thoroughly enjoyed being back on this stage. Feels like Founders Day all over again. Yeah. And we should do this more often because everyone here is genuinely like family. So thank you.
I want to tell you that my real belief is that a brick and mortar school like this is too expensive a way to teach children. You've got to do away with all this rubbish. I mean, we are enjoying it, but there's not a kid here, not a kid in sight. Because how many of them ever use it? This hall lies empty throughout the day. The principal sitting here, she can tell me. So I really think that time has now come to have a different way of doing school. This school would cost 120, 130 crores to build today. And that's simply a waste of money.
Show me. Today, 1 acre of land costs that much. So it is close to anywhere 7, 8.
We have to think of different models, you know. This is just not on. And in this whole space, we will have 3,000 kids. There are billions, I mean, there are at least 20 million kids who have to go to school. So this won't do anymore, you know.
So how would one build that access to opportunity, to learning?
Well, the main thing is that you got to allow the kind of things that is happening in the corporate world. They have WeWork offices where different people come at different times and use the same space. And you got to do that. This is complete waste of money.
That's the third time he said it this evening.
Yeah, so as I just spoke, writing a book is more difficult than the journey itself. I think I never dared to do that. So you yourself being author, you know.
The last book came out in 2011 and that was it. So, yeah, I understand that better than most. But thank you for bringing this to life, for allowing us a glimpse into this absolutely amazing person's life and into this absolutely amazing journey. Thank you all so much for being part of this. We really thank you for being here. And thank you, Deepika, for your hospitality. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you, Arjun sir, for being a wonderful moderator. A big round of applause. And thank you, Nagaprasad sir and Shomie sir. This is also a moment to reckon not only the journey of Oak Ridge, how it started and how it has evolved, but also to understand and appreciate that with Nord Anglia management, it is growing leaps and bounds. So a big round of applause to the leadership and Deepika ma'am. We are not only sustaining the legacy, surpassing and exceeding it. So fantastic, and thank you Deepika ma'am for doing that every day. And now it's time to felicitate. I request Nagaprasad sir and Raj sir to felicitate Arjun sir, and I invite Deepika ma'am on stage. And I request Nagatumula sir and Raj sir to felicitate Arjun sir and Deepika ma'am. Deepika ma'am, thank you very much for having given shape to this event. And we thank the principal, Deepika ma'am, and Nord Anglia management for having organized this event so beautifully. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Arjun sir, for being with us today and having moderated this session beautifully. There we have the two dynamic principals standing, sharing the stage, and two ediopreneurs, of course. Yes. And I realized the ulterior motives of Arjun sir through the conversation. He just wanted to find out how he would get his NP sir and Raj sir. And what is the next thing in education industry so that he would be the first one to grab that. I got that, sir. I could see what he was doing. Thank you, NP sir, and thank you, Raj sir. And it's been a wonderful evening with all the distinguished guests here, the principals who also traveled from different parts of the country. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you, everyone.